Cocaine and the 1980s. For those old enough to remember the decade, these go together in entertainment like peanut butter and jelly. And on that note, let's talk about the film Cocaine Bear. Now, Cocaine Bear is very loosely based on the true story of a drug smuggler who, when his plane got in trouble, dumped 75 pounds of cocaine, at the time valued at $2 million, into the Tennessee woods. Now, the true story is that a black bear did find this cocaine, did eat some of it, but died. However, this movie takes this story on a completely different turn. Let's talk about the plot a little bit without giving away too many spoilers. So the movie takes place in 1985, which is evident immediately from the synthesized music you hear, similar to the intro of such popular shows as Stranger Things. The movie begins with us seeing drug smuggler Andrew Thornton, who was in fact the real-life drug smuggler of the actual event, dumping the cocaine out of his damaged aircraft, but then knocking himself unconscious on a door frame, causing him to fall to his death because he could not open his parachute. Our drug dealer's body is found with some of the cocaine on him by a local detective who quickly recognizes him as an associate of a St. Louis drug dealer, and also realizes that there may be more cocaine out there. Meanwhile, we go to Chattahoochee National Forest and see a large black bear eating some of the cocaine, becoming highly aggressive, attacking two hikers, and killing one of them. Next, we meet two young middle schoolers, Dee Dee and Henry, who have decided to skip school today and venture into the forest to visit and paint a picture of a waterfall. However, they too find some of the cocaine and recognize it for what it is from a recent school assembly. And anyone who went to school in the 80s remembers the war on drugs, the Just Say No campaign, and the drug assemblies we all had to sit through. In St. Louis, drug kingpin Sid White, played by Ray Liotta, sends his fixer David to recover the cocaine. David enlists Sid's son Eddie to help him. Eddie, however, is not up for it because he's currently going through some depression due to the death of his wife, but does come along. Meanwhile, Dee Dee's mother, Sarah, played by Carrie Russell, realizes her child has skipped school and goes to look for her in the forest. We also meet Ranger Liz, a slightly obsessive park ranger who is in charge of this particular park, and her nemesis, the Duchamp Gang, three local losers who wander the park robbing campers of their valuables. And in the middle of all of this is a bear, who is continuously ingesting lots and lots of cocaine. Now, you probably saw the trailer and thinks, hey, this movie looks pretty funny, and it does have some comedic elements to it, but make no mistake, this is a very violent and very gory film, absolutely earning its R rating. This bear kills people in gruesome ways, and Ranger Liz, played by Margot Martindale, is a shoot first and hell, shoot second, and then ask questions kind of girl. For a movie with such a silly premise and such a low budget, you would expect to see no-name actors and actresses. However, this movie has quite a good cast. Kerry Russell, Alden Ehrenreich, and Ray Liotta are your bigger names, but Margot Martindale and Isaiah Whitlock, who plays the local detective, are seasoned and professional character actors who you have all seen in many projects before, and they do a great job with their roles. Also, O'Shea Jackson, the oldest son of rapper Ice Cube, does a fantastic job playing David, the fixer for Ray Liotta's Sid White. Not just playing him as a hardcore gangster, but as an actual human being with feelings and conflict. Of your main three actors, Kerry Russell, who won a Golden Globe back in the day for Felicity, which somehow is a 25-year-old show, plays the concerned mom very well, and Ehrenreich, who played Han Solo in the Solo Star Wars movie, really gets into the role of the worn-down and reluctant son of a major drug dealer who has lost all interest in the life. The death of his wife making him realize that he wants something different. Ray Liotta is only in parts of the film, but he can play a convincing crime boss with the best of them. and as expected, does well. The movie actually ends with a dedication to him, as this was his final role before his untimely death last year. In terms of special effects, the bear seems convincing to me. CGI, of course, but still menacing. This movie is directed by actress Elizabeth Banks, who had previously directed the pretty decent Pitch Perfect 2 and the absolutely terrible 2019 Charlie's Angels remake. But she does a great job here keeping the story and action going forward and shooting some pretty graphic kill scenes that are both jarring and brutal. Also, the sets, the costuming, and the music really play into our 80s time period to the point where you think you could actually be watching a movie made in the 80s. Clocking in with a runtime of 1 hour and 35 minutes, it does not overstay its welcome, unlike so many other films. And yes, I am looking at you, MCU. Bottom line, it's a straightforward story. No subtle messaging, no political discourse. It's a bear who does cocaine, goes crazy and kills people, while other people, some good, some not so good, are caught up in the chaos. Look, this isn't an award-winning film. It's silly and at times even a little stupid and does require you to suspend a lot of disbelief. And honestly, the amount of gore will not be for everyone. So what's the final verdict? What to do with this film? Do you buck up for a ticket? Do you just stream it, or do you skip it altogether? Well, I would not blame you if you streamed it. I say go to your theater and purchase a ticket. Not because it's the greatest film you'll ever see, but it is at least original and fun. Because in a world full of sequels and prequels and reboots and remixes, any good original story is worth the price of admission. So let's give Cocaine Bear a solid 6.5 out of 10 and a recommendation. Thank you for listening. This was my first video. If you liked what you heard, click the subscribe button, give it a like, give me a comment. If you did not like what you heard, I thank you for listening anyway. This is the Normie. Take care.